You just tuned it in. Global and worldwide. Hitting you on the one with no delay. Because it's the fighter's voice. The fighter's voice. With your fighting host, Richard Ortiz. And the formidable co-host, Mr. Cole Escovedo. Remember, every fighter has a voice.
Ladies and gentlemen, the fighter's voice, the only voice that matters. We're simply knocking out the competition. And talking about knocking out the competition, we got a great show for you tonight. We got with us the WBO lightweight champion of the world, JAMEL Simplify Herring. He's with us. He's going to talk boxing. He's going to talk about the Fantastic Four, which I want to call them. We're talking about Sugar Ray Leonard, Tommy Hearns, Marvin Hagler, Roberto Duran, because I got to get his take. I spoke to him earlier, and he said, Rich, let's just talk boxing. But before we get started, I want to give a shout-out to my man behind the scene, KP, making it all happen. My co-host with the most, the one, the only, the wolf guy himself, Mr. Mike Rutta. What's happening, Mike?
What's up? Not much. Just here. Another day.
Another day. You know what? I don't even want to waste a minute, a second, because I want to talk to JAMEL Herring. I want to make sure I say it exactly the way his mama says it, the way it's written down. Welcome to the show, my man. How we doing, JAMEL?
We're doing great. We're doing great, Rich. Great. Thanks for having me on.
It's a pleasure, man. It's a long time coming, but you know what?
Yeah, it's long overdue. It's definitely been long overdue. But I'm glad we got it.
It is, but you know what? Between then and now, I mean, you've been showing nothing but love, and I appreciate that, man. Nothing but love and respect.
You got to give love to those who show you love. That's how I go by things. So, I appreciate everything, everything you've been doing over the years. And, I never forget things like that. So I'm glad, like I said, I'm honored to be speaking with you guys today.
Hey, man, I'm just glad I showed you mad love and respect before you had that strap on your waist. Because it's okay if the bandwagoners come. They can join the team. But you know what? I was showing love when I know the whole story with you and Jose. Rick broke it down to me. And when I saw you perform at Seymour Center in front of 15,000 people, in your entrance alone, you needed a strap after that entrance alone, my man.
Yeah. As far as Fresno's been great to me. I mean, matter of fact, while we get the time, shout out to my people out there in Fresno, Rick, Jose. I got Marines out there, Sylvia. There's a lot of people out there. I mean, like especially the first time in Fresno was crazy. The second time was just unbelievable. So I have no issue, coming back to Fresno whenever Fresno gives the call.
Well, let's give a roll call to my Marines out there, the URA, my nephew, Lauren Ortiz, my boss, Brett Moley, my coach, Manny Escobar. And if I mess a couple other brothers, hey, my bad, man. But
hey, all the Marines out there, they know it's love. They know, hey, one family, so they know it's love.
When I was the rookie working at the school district, man, I made a mistake. You know what I said? I said former Marine. And the brother, he said, I'm not going to say it on radio. He said, there's no such thing as a former Marine. We're Marines till we die. He goes, Rich, let me break it down to you. You can mess up on some of these other calls, but never a former Marine.
Yeah.
Louis Rosser told me that.
Once a Marine, always a Marine.
That's what I'm saying, man. But you know what? Hey, we're always fighting something. And, and I've always told people, when you come on the fighter's voice, you don't have to enter a boxing ring or a cage to be a guest on the fighter's voice. Christina Patra said it best. We have people that are fighting cancer, fighting with life, and people that, like me and you and Mike and KP, as we're going on the air right now, we're knocking out this coronavirus. So we're not going to sit back and just let it eat us up. We're going to eat it and kick its ass and put it back on the curb where it belongs.
Right.
So what have you been doing since this virus has hit, this plague has hit the world? I know you've been busy. I know you're a student of the sport. Talk to us, man.
Yeah, for the most part, I've just been more importantly, I've just been taking the time to spend time with the family a lot more. Just bond more with family. So you got to take the negative and turn it to a positive somehow. And I've been using the time to spend time with the family. But as like you pointed out, I've been doing a lot of tape study, of course. So I'm glad we're going to speak some film today. And when I do decide to get up early enough, I still go out and do my runs. Just to keep the weight down, as you can see, my face isn't heavy, looking 30 pounds over the limit. But I just want to stay ready just in case we get that call, because you never know what may happen tomorrow.
Man, JAMEL, you know what? For me personally, you just put salt in an open wound. I got on the scale today, and it was not nice to me, man. It wasn't. Mike, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Because we throw our own battle. Me and Michael, we do sometimes off the air. We throw burger battles. And we get down. So far, Mike's undefeated. He's beat me 10 times in a row. But, Mike, I'm going to get you one of these days, man.
Yeah, no, I had the same issue the other morning. I looked at the weight and I was like, my stomach's still there, but the workouts are helping me gain some muscle, so that's probably some of the weight too. But the gut's still there, but that'll be gone in no time.
Hey, we got time. Hey, we got time.
Yeah,
we got nothing but time.
Right now, yeah.
We got time. And I want to ask you, besides staying in shape and being fit, JAMEL, like everybody else, you've been going to the archives. What has been your favorite fight to look back at? I mean, to just put down one.
Okay.
Yeah, we can't just give one.
One that pops up to my head is in my mind is Oscar De La Hoya, Ike Corte.
Oh yeah,
classic from start to finish. We can go Sweet Pea, Buddy McGirt, either one of those two fights. Ooh. Sweet Pea, Roger Mayweather, God rest both their souls. You know, yes. and the list just goes on. Like I pointed out the other day on my Twitter, I didn't think it was gonna get this like a lot of feedback, but you know, I told people, if you don't know who Eric Morales is, don't speak to me about boxing. If you don't know who El Talife is, do not. And people look at me crazy, like, "What? You're like, oh, I think he's been like one of the first, like, growing up, like the first like real boxers I remember seeing so much, like from the HBO boxing days that just grasped my attention because." A lot of people get it confused with, they think Mexican style means just sit there and brawl and go toe to toe. No, true Mexican fighters, yes, they have the heart. But somebody like Eric Morales and even today's Canelo Alvarez, they can box. They just know when it's time to crunch down. If they have to go to war, they will go to war. But for the most part, they are a true definition of the sweet science as well. And if you look at my style, I'm all about boxing. So when I look at when I think of Eric Morales, I always got to refer to the first Pacquiao fight, 12th round, when he switched southpaw. And he didn't have to. You know, they wanted him to play it safe, but him being there, like I said, that Mexican warrior, he went out there and put on a show for the fans from start to finish. So Eric Morales will always be one of my favorite boxers.
Yeah. You know what? I agree with you. And there's one guy, I'm sure you didn't mean to overlook him, man, but this guy doesn't get credit for his boxing ability. And I'm talking about Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. I mean, when he was hurt in that second round in that rematch against Frankie Randall, when he was hurt before it went on to that headbutt decision, he was boxing. He was showing some boxing attributes and very defensively, but again,
listen, I was actually one of the little kids kind of upset when he fought Oscar. Because we all knew that it was kind of the end of the road for Chavez. But Chavez being Chavez, you know, he was going to go out on his shield. But, yeah, I was actually the one that didn't – even as a kid, I didn't like that whole idea of seeing that. But, you know, like I said, at the end of the day, he's still a legend. He still gets love and respect today. You know, there's nothing – his legacy will never be tarnished. So that's more important. So it is what it is. That's just how the sport goes, passing of the torch.
Yeah. Yeah, me and you both. Actually, I remember when that took place, just because I wanted to show people I told you so, I was looking through the archives because I said I have an interview that I put on VHS tape when Oscar De La Hoya said I would never fight him. And he did say that. But, you know, it is what it is. But you know what? It was hard for me to watch. It was hard for me to watch too.
Yeah. And see, I got the funniest story about that where I was 7 or 8 years old when that fight, the first one happened. And there's a place here, Rich, you know what it is. It's called a Cine Mexicano in Fresno. And they showed the fight, you know, much as the movie theaters do now. And it had to be 95% Mexican for Chavez to 5% for De La Hoya. When that fight ended, I'm 7, 8 years old. I was throwing hands to get out of that place because it got crazy. I hit a grown man. I hit a kid.
People don't realize how much Chavez was loved by the people, man. Chavez could have been 55 years old and he still had a huge following coming and still
he could say he's gonna have a pay-per-view fight tomorrow and I'd be like, let me go pay that $100 right now.
Look at his exhibitions. People tune in. I tune in.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's Chavez, man.
He still got it. So I'm like, man, like I said, that's a legend. And like I said, I now I gotta admit, I was the kid that was upset with the infamous fight. that Richard Steele had jumped in, but as boxing for you, I'm like, man, like Chavez, man, he don't basically he taught me you can't never count anyone out until it's over. It's not over until it's over.
Yeah.
Man, Richard Steele, you know, Julio Cesar Chavez and Mildred Taylor. I mean, I remember when that fight was announced, I believe the name of it was called Lightning versus Thunder. And it was an awesome fight. It lived up to all the hype.
Crazy. I believe, they was called Lightning versus Thunder before Floyd and Arturo Gatti was also Lightning versus Thunder as well.
Yeah. No, exactly. And I agree with you. And, you know, Floyd did give that man a boxing lesson. And, the rest is history.
Lightning won that one. The last one, Thunder, and the Chavez and the Taylor Thunder won that one.
Yeah. And you know what? Even that rematch, if you look, I like the way he baited him in. I'm talking about setting traps. The way he just baited him in, and then boom, that left hook. He just timed it. It was perfect. But Mildred Taylor, you got to remember, he had hand speed, and one thing that he had beyond his good was his heart. Because he didn't have to sit and bang with you, but he wanted to let you know, I'm not going nowhere.
Yeah, you know that toughness.
Very tough.
It's like they said that was his greatest strength and his biggest weakness was that he was a Philadelphia fighter at the end of the day in that Chavez fight. Because he had that fight won, he didn't have to go out there, but he went out there to bang, and then Chavez just got him at the end. That was it.
No,
it happens.
No, it does happen, and it happens to the best of us. And those that I think that should go bang it out at the end, kind of put themselves on reserves. And I'm talking about, and I love Oscar De La Hoya, the advice he got from Gil Clancy to just close that last round with Felix Trinidad, which cost him, in my book, the belt. Even though I thought he did enough to win, judges and people, they remember the last round. They don't remember the 2 knockdowns early. They don't remember you getting stunned.
Yeah, they don't remember that was a great fight. That was a great fight. They don't remember, but they don't remember those fights. They always remember the ending result. You know, a lot of people don't take back to actually watch the fight. Like, even when I look back at the Chavez Whitaker fight, I don't get confused. I don't get mixed in with the judges' decisions on that fight. I look at how good, you know, from Pernell's, you know, standpoint, how technical sound he was in that fight. I don't get into the whole, it's robbery, this and that. No, I actually enjoy just watching the fight and seeing how it played out. So that's what people need to start realizing. Also, like, don't get so tied up into a decision that you may be against. You know, enjoy. You know, there's nothing wrong going back to enjoying a good fight for what it was.
No, exactly. And Pernell put on a masterpiece of Picasso. Talk about boxing 1A. And you know what? Julio, I've always had respect for him. You know, he had respect for him and his boxing skills. And one thing about Pernell, man, he'll sit there and bang with you. He'll give you a boxing lesson, but he'll hit you with that left hand.
He'll dig in the trenches and once in every while. Yeah, he will.
That fight before De La Hoya where he had to win by knockout to get that De La Hoya fight. Oh man, he put
he had to put him through the ropes. He hung.
Oh my God, that's one of the most vicious. That was one of the most vicious beatings I've seen.
He was down.
He was down. It was over, and he came back and man, that's still one of the worst ones I've seen. I mean, he had the guy just hanging over the ropes.
Out the dry.
Jamel, knowing what you know, and we're talking about the early stages, you know, you're a former Olympian, which I forgot to mention off the top of the show. What exactly do you see in today's fighters that you didn't see? Well, let me tell you this. What did you see in your era, and you coming up as a fighter, that is missing in today's fighters? There had to be something there.
When I was growing up to today?
Exactly.
I'm
talking about you appreciating your. I'm talking about. Let me interrupt you real quick. I'm talking about you appreciating your first pair of boxing gloves as opposed to today's fighters. Oh well, hook 'em it's not red when it should be blue, or hook 'em it's not green when it should be. And when you had your first pair, you were just like, "Daddy, I got me a pair of boxing gloves."
Yeah, I remember my mom took me down to get my my gear, and my first pair of gear had some gray Asics. Some basic blue Everlast. I still remember, you know, like the thing is today, because there's so much exposure with boxing, and it's not a knock toward the new generation, but if you look at it, a lot of them are spoiled in a way. Like a lot of these kids, like even now in the amateurs, they want endorsement deals and sponsorships and things, which is nothing wrong with that, but they expect too much for doing so little at times. That's how I believe. And then when you go to the pro side, from me looking back from even back when, you know, Don King and Bob were doing business, it seemed like business was a lot easier to be done then than now because, like Mike Tyson said it best, everyone today is a businessman.
Yeah.
You know, me, I have that old school mentality. Like, I don't have, like, you guys see me, I don't have any bad blood or ill will towards any other fighter because at the end of the day, I look at boxing as a sport. But at the same time, I don't really want to get into the whole political side of boxing. I just want to go out there and fight the champions, no matter where they are. Even like people thought I had even with a stablemate, Miguel Burchell. I don't have nothing bad against Burchell. I actually give Burchell his credit. I believe Miguel Burchell is #1 super featherweight for a reason, and because you know he's proven it. I haven't, you know, I'm not gonna discredit him for what he's done. I mean, me being the fighter, you just want to fight the best. So I mean, that's how I look at it. So I'm glad we had to clear that up too, because like it was never a personal thing with Miguel Burchell. I just kept pushing forward because I believe he's the best super featherweight in the world. He's the longest reigning right now. I believe he's going on 3 years as a WBC champion. So give him his credit for that. And you know, and it comes to one of those things like you guys just said. If that fight did come about, I can't be a Meldrick Taylor in that one because I'm not going to sit there and let my head get the best of me because the kid has dynamite in both hands. So you gotta approach things smart in boxing. And so and that's probably why I probably can't get the fight with his management because they see that I'm not gonna, you know, like the Ito fight. I'm not gonna sit there and like make it a brawl. I'm gonna you know, play it smart. But like I said, I gave him all credit, and I'm actually looking forward to him and Valdez fighting as a fan because I still want to see it helps the sport. And overall, it helps the sport. So whatever helps the sport grow and gain attention, even if I'm not a part of it, I'm all for it because it brings in more people to boxing to keep boxing alive.
Not only that, I would touch on this. It lets us as boxing fans, writers, journalists, world champions appreciate the sport, the sweet science. You got to remember, the sweet science, it's a beautiful sport. It's been around forever. It's been around forever. Man has always had testosterone. I always wanted to fight another man. Now it's controlled. It's a sport. I've always believed in out-thinking your opponent, but at the end of the day, you got to sit down and grind your teeth and let him go. Jamal, you've always been – there it goes. I get strike 3 on that one. You've always been a class act. There's always been fighters on social media that want to think that you're just this nice guy, and sometimes people misunderstand strength, kindness for weakness, which is not yours in your case. But I've seen you grind your teeth and say, okay, enough is enough. As if to say, okay, you know what? I got to let you know who is the champion. Because there's been people coming at you, and I'm thinking to myself, bro, he's a world champion. You know, go after somebody in your pool. That's a world champion. If you're ready and you're in line and the fight's already made, then yeah, we all want to know. But until then, that is a world champion.
But we all know it comes with the territory. Some fighters look at it as, you know, the opportunity to being noticed. So I understand. I mean, I never did it. If anything, I always gave everyone their proper respect because I believed in myself that one day I will get to that level. But like I said, I look at it like this though at times. Like I said, I always take the negative in terms of a positive. I say it like this. I'd rather have people actually paying attention to me than not mentioning me at all.
No, you know, that's absolutely right, man. That's the truth. What was that, Mike?
That's the old saying is if someone's mentioning your name, that means that there's probably 10 or 100 more people thinking of you.
Yeah, so, you're doing something right.
Yeah, so if you're in someone's head, then that's a good thing. So
no, exactly.
And then, you know what, speaking on that, Burchell, you know, what I was hoping that would have happened before all of this stuff went down was that, I know it's probably not, you know, financially feasible, but Burchell, Valdez, and you and Frampton on the same card. So then, you know, have them make
the fighter. I would have went with that idea. I wouldn't even complain. See, the thing is, you get a lot of fighters when they get the title, then they start arguing about who's going to be the main event in the A side. And me, just put me on the card. I don't care. I don't, like you said, I don't like if people, because I know it'll create a bigger fan base because you will get a fan base from each one of those 4 individuals tuning in. And see, I look at the smart thing, and I do look at the business side of it in terms of like the fans wise, but like in terms of like the fight and who will be the A side or the main event and the co-main event. I don't care. As long as I get to come out, perform, and, you know, lead the people talking about how great or good the fight was, I'm fine with it.
See, for me, I just know it because they've always said, you know, they can't put that many champions on one card. But in my head is the winner.
Don King will stack his cards. I mean, you would see cards where Chavez was on the undercard of
absolutely.
So they used to do
that rematch card that was like 5 title fights.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. That card was insane. I was actually there. I was there for the press conference, the weigh-in, and everything. And I want to talk about that. I mean, I want to look back at one card, and I'm talking about Zuma Nelson, Jesse James Leja. I mean, we're talking about the professor himself. Just being around him, watching him work out. I mean, he kind of got overlooked because of the weight class he was in. Frankie Randall was so focused. He was actually, here's what it was. Maldrick Taylor, no, I want to say Maldrick Taylor. No. Hector Camacho was supposed to be on the rematch card. But Julio took that loss, so they made the rematch between Julio and Frankie Randall. But that whole card was stacked. I didn't even interrupt him, right?
I said that's 5. You said you pointed at 5
titles.
You can't even, today's where you could barely get 2 without an issue on the card.
And you know who's the opening fight on that one on the rematch? See if you remember that, guys. Do you remember Ricardo Lopez was the first fight on that one? Exactly. Yep.
But see, the reason I say for that one, if they would have put all 4 of you on the same card is, you know, they might say financial, this and that, but at the end, the 2 guys that win going into that next fight, the winners fight the winners, that's going to be way more money. And it's, as you said, it's thinking smarter, because then that money is bigger than the rest of it. So it's crazy. But I that was just my thought. I was like, oh, if they put these guys on the same card, that's going to draw so much interest. You know, and Top Rank used to do that a lot back in the day. Cotto and Margarito were on the same card before their fight, things like that. That would just be perfect to lead into a unification and draw more fans and more eyes.
Right.
Well, Mike, I'm glad you brought that up, because if there's any promoter today that's living, still breathing, still going strong, still relevant, it's going to be Bob Arum that's going to say, you know what? I'm going to make this a massive event. I'm going to take it vintage style. I'm going to take it old school style. I'm going to take it to the days of Marvin Hagler, Sugar Ray Leonard, and just stack one card one of these days. Jamel, I seen him talking to you on the undercard of no, I was there during that week. Of course, I talked to you, Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury. I was there where the press was at, and Bob was talking to you, and he let he didn't care who else was around. He was focused on you, and you said, okay, but I got to make sure this, and I got to make sure that. You were standing your ground. You took as if the manager position, the agent position, and said, okay, I'm interested, but this needs to happen. I want this to happen, and then he said, make it happen. I wasn't sure hustling, but it was right there in front of me.
You know, because like I said, Bob, you know, he's been around many great champions. So just to like him even acknowledge me and pull me, like you said, pull me to the side that day and just talk. I'm still at awe, because like this guy who you know, promoted Muhammad Ali, you know, in the great 4, you know, middleweights of the 80s and so on. So but yeah, like with like the reason why I have a good relationship with Top Rank, because I don't give him any issues. I don't make a big fuss about things. I don't pull the whole diva card. I'm still the same guy they signed from, you know, back in 2018. And all I want is like, as long as I have enough time to properly prepare and things are on fair grounds, I don't care what the fight's out. You see the Frampton fight. I didn't pull the whole I'm the champion. Of course, I wanted to fight, you know, him from bringing the country over to the Garden. I wanted that, but when Top Rank pulled me to the side and said this would have made for a bigger scene and made more sense. All right, whatever. As long as we just give me the date, just give me the date, and I'm there. I'm not gonna argue. I'm not gonna argue about you know, who gets this, who gets that. Hey, just as long as we have everything's on fair terms, I don't mind traveling to wherever the people, the fans, they want to see you fight, because they don't get a lot of sporting events over there in Belfast. So if I could be a part of history, I'm all for it.
I tell you one thing that you should have gotten when you were in Fresno, California. You should have got credit for that knockdown.
Yeah.
You got the victory, but come on, man, that was a knockdown.
It was a check hook. It was a check hook, and there was no feet tangled.
No.
But
AKA Muhammad Ali.
That fight, that was a good fight.
That was the anchor punch.
Yeah, shout out to Lamont. Yeah, shout out to Lamont Roach because, like I said, he caught me in the 11th round with a good shot. But as a champion, I had to just bite down, recover, and go out there. And, it happens in boxing. I could have let it, shake me up mentally, but I was like, no, let's just go out like a champion and play it smart. But I enjoyed. Like the atmosphere was crazy. It was a good fight. It felt good. Fighting a young, hungry, undefeated, contender. But I told them whenever they wanted me to come back to Fresno, sign me up.
Oh, we doing it. And matchmaker Ricardo Diaz, man, he gave you full credit. I mean, he had his fighters back from the get-go, but he recognizes a class and he recognizes who was the better man that day and gave you full credit. And shout out to Roberto, man. He's a class act, and he's also been on The Fighter's Voice.
Yeah. I mean, what's one thing about me? People look at it funny, but I have a good relationship with everybody from even on the promotional side. Eric and them at Golden Boy, I fought on their cards when I first turned pro. So I've kept a good relationship with them. Me and my partner JC out in LA, we're actually working with fighters, and we're pitching them to the guys like Golden Boy and Matchroom, Eddie Hearn, and of course Top Ring. So that's one thing about me also with my platform. I'm glad I actually didn't burn bridges. Because, I want to be in that position to, see other fighters grow. I've never been that type of guy that want to spotlight just on me. I want to see young talent or talent that hasn't been given enough exposure or credit, to get their feet in the door and to basically do their own thing. So I'm glad I kept the relationships with guys like, Roberto and Eric and, Eddie Hearn and everybody out there.
Hey, I want to ask you this, man. When you got the call, when you got the sit down to come back to Fresno and to say, we're going to do something special here on your walk-in, or in this case, it could have been a fly-in from what I hear.
Rick.
I was about to ask you, how did that conversation take place? How did it go? And when he said, hey, I'm going to have you parachute in from the planet Venus and just come all the way. I mean, because throw stuff back here like that.
Thing about it, like I don't really get that information until basically like the week of. Like Rick, like I knew Rick was planning something big because he kept saying it. It was gonna be something better, bigger. I'm like, it can't be no bigger than what we did at the Save Mark. I'm thinking like that was just like 50 lined up Marines in uniform. What can be bigger than that? And he was like, no, I'm promising. Then he came with the idea. He actually was. We were real close to getting the helicopter, flying me in on the center field, and then walking to the ring. And then we did the then he went with the Humvee entrance. But yeah, man, like shout out to Rick, man. Like he's always shown a lot of love, and like a lot of people don't know. I've known Rick and Jose since 2011. Me and Jose were actually we met being roommates during the Olympic trials, and it was crazy. Like Jose, it's funny because Jose was a super featherweight, and I was the light, and I was the junior welterweight. So, but now like as pros, we kind of switched, weight classes. But during those times when like his weight class fought, I had a day of rest, and then when I fought, he had rest. So it was like he would come back and he'd be like, I want my fight, and then I would come back, I want my fight, and we was just like feeding up each other's like energy. And me and Jose, like him, like I've been close with his brother, his mother and father. So I always had a great relationship with Jose and the family and Rick. So I'm just glad that we're like basically back together under the same stable. But me and Jose and those guys, we go way back. I always look at him as a brother no matter what.
Yeah, that's very well said, and that's a classy statement done by a man that's a class act. Hey, speaking of Rick, man, I heard how true the rumor was that I was hearing that he wanted you to come down on a parachute or something of that matter. He was going to have you come down from the air or something, or swarming like Superman or something.
With the helicopter coming in, but I wouldn't put it past him. Rick loves to do a grand entrance in style. I see, but I don't think I could do that.
Hey, after hearing this, he's probably going to put that on the agenda. That's going to be next. He's probably going to get you in the whole bit.
Trust me, he's already reached out to me about a week ago with another idea during this whole coronavirus situation. But Rick is always working. The mind's always churning. He's preparing for me to return back to Fresno. So I wouldn't be surprised if I be back sooner than most people think.
He's gonna have you in a hazmat suit like Ant-Man,
yeah, with a gas mask and everything, man.
Well, if it was up to Rick, he'd probably borrow Jose's body and get in the ring with the Regis Pro Grace, because they're always going back and forth.
Oh man.
Constantly.
Yeah, and I think that's the one like crazy part, like you guys putting out being like the good guy in boxing, because I have a relationship with like everybody. Like I know Regis, I know Bud Crawford, I know Errol Spence, I know more. So all these guys that I know basically have like, you know, and I fought Josh Taylor. Me and Josh became friends after we fought the amateurs. So like you know, that's another one. So it's like I don't know. That's why I don't really get into it with the fighters, because like I said, it's I look at how like the best way I always tell people when you look at Kobe Bryant and Jordan, they was competitive. They was on different teams, but at the end of the day, it was always mutual love and respect. So that's how I look at some of these. That's how I look at some of these fighters in boxing. Like, sure, maybe, you know what I'm saying, we could probably get in the ring and face up each other someday, but at the end of the day, you know, we could just hug it out and embrace each other when it's all said and done, and then, you know, be like the legends. Like today, when you see who would have thought 30 years ago you would be seeing Roberto Duran and Sugar Ray Leonard, you know, hugging it up and laughing every time they see each other. You know, you wouldn't think that back then, but if we could be like that down the road for fighters, you know.
Hey, another one, think of Morales and Barrera. I mean, they threw hands at a press conference, and now they're hanging out.
You know what? I was during that time I was not the biggest Barrera fan. I respected him, but you know, like I said, I was all Morales, and I was upset. I watched all three of those fights closely, and I was just like, Barrera won the battle. But like I said, at the end of the day, Morales still paid his own legacy, and you know, just being they all did. You know, Juan Manuel Marquez is another one of my favorites that I enjoy watching, because he's more of the you know, he didn't get at the time, he didn't get the same exposure and credit until later on.
Very well said.
And even without the victory over Pacquiao, he's still, in my book, he's done enough, you know, to be claimed, you know, to be a Hall of Famer someday anyway, because he was just he was very patient. He was a counterpuncher. But I think one of my favorite fights to watch is with Diaz.
Juan Diaz, yeah.
And Juan Diaz, and he had to fight.
Yep.
He had to fight back, because Juan Diaz was younger. He you know what I'm saying, he was all offense. And
he was a bull.
The baby bull for a reason.
Yep.
And so like that's one of my favorite fights to look back on. And like I said, if you name them, I'm watching them. Even when you brought up a Sumo Nelson, I was thinking Salvador Sanchez.
Oh yeah.
One of the he could have been in my EA's a legend from what he left off at, but I always think back like, man, imagine if the tragic accident didn't happen, how great he would be. Because that dude was a fight. He was a fight.
Yeah.
He was a fighter.
Yeah, he had those 2 wars with Little Red Lopez, Danny Little Red Lopez. Hey, but I will say this. I don't see Marvin Hagler and Sugar Ray Leonard playing checkers together anytime soon.
I don't see Marvin Hagler playing anything with anybody anytime soon. Marvin Hagler is Marvin Hagler to the end.
Yes, sir.
You gotta love him for that. You know, Marvin Hagler got a victory, a huge victory over Tommy Hearns, but I don't think I'll see them playing a game of poker or goldfish together no time soon.
No time soon. Okay, I'm going to put you on the hot seat, my man. You're getting ready to suit up right now. We got a time machine, okay? I'm going to give you any corner you want, whether it's the red corner or the blue corner. We'll give you, what corner you want, red or blue?
Doesn't matter. If we're going back in time, I give my respect to the guys who paid the way, so give me the opposite corner.
Okay, well, you know what? Right now, I'm going to give you the red corner.
All right.
Now, fighting out of the blue corner, anybody in your weight, either 10 pounds higher or lower, who would you love to share the ring with? As if to say, when it's all said and done, my gosh, I share the ring with this guy.
Robert Garcia.
Oh,
Robert Garcia at one. Robert Garcia, he's not the one. Like, I love Robert. Robert's a good guy. I went to the gym a few months ago to do a shoot. They showed a lot of love out there. Robert Garcia. I always speak about Robert Garcia fights. I mean, because even though he came up on a short end on some great fights, like the one with Corrales or whatever. Yeah. But watch that fight though, and you see how relentless he was in that fight. You know, Robert would have been. He was I always say this, and I don't knock my generation. You know, because like I said, even with the heavyweight division, I say in the 90s of the heavyweight division, just in the 90s alone, there was a lot of B-side guys that could be A-side guys today.
Thank you.
Like the Frank Brunos and those guys today can
Ernie Shavers.
Yeah, I'm telling you. So like I think back then when boxing, even though it was, they were making money then, but like a lot of those fighters still was trying to, even champions was still trying to grind to get that paycheck. So I think that influenced a lot of that grit and determination back in those eras because like they said, boxing is a poor man's sport, and those eras really proved that. And I think that's like, a lot of these guys have families, so they was going to go out and they shield to get what they need, to provide for their families. Unlike today, it's like you look, the young, the prospects is getting paid way more than guys who are well established with 20, 30 fights 20 years ago. Yeah. So it's just, like I said, it's crazy how boxing, I mean, of course you want to see fighters being taken care of, but at the same time, I still believe that some fighters still need to earn not only that respect, but, earn their place to be, calling out world champions and claiming this and claiming that and the third. But that's just my opinion.
No, very well said. And I want to talk a little bit about Robert Garcia. We're talking about a man who is down to earth, one of the, if not the best trainer right now in this era, being able to make that transition from fighter to trainer, down to earth. Every time that I go down to Riverside, he's opened up his doors. And I remember the first time he said, hey, whatever you want in here, bro, this is your house. So I respected it and took care of it as such. And I'll tell you, man, iron sharpens iron. You got some monsters in there, not just working out together. You got them sharing the ring together.
I went there just for a photo shoot. True story. Went there for a photo shoot. I'm already getting called out by 115-pound fighters. That's the crazy part, man. Like, hey, what are you doing here, Jamel? I'm like, I'm just here for a shoot. Hey, do you want to spar? I'm like, well, I'm here on business today. Like, but yeah, man. That it was during the time too when Jose was training for his fight before he got canceled due to the virus in China. But man, they was in there. I mean, fighters who didn't even have nothing lined up were in there training like they had their own title fight coming up. So you got to give credit to that.
Exactly. What ring were you doing the photo shoot in? Was it in the Adidas ring or was it on the other side?
I did them on both. It was a 2-day shoot, okay. So I was on both sides. But I made sure on the day one to stay on the other side away from the guys because they were too big. They were trying to get me in the ring for something else. But I was like, let me just stay over here. But today they handle business.
Hey, man, when they see a champion walk in there, man, they just want to be a piece of it. They want to be a part of it, man.
I respect it, and I respect that because I wasn't coming in there as a a Joe Schmo. So at least they knew who I was, and I've been through the same process. I remember coming into the Terrence Crawford camp for the Ndongo fight as a sparring partner. Of course, I wanted to get in there with Bud because at the time Bud was being considered now still is considered one of the best fighters in the world. Yeah. So people always want to iron sharpens iron, and I'm so grateful to be a part of that team now because I feel like Beaumet, Red Spikes, Isaú Dieguez, and the rest of the gang, Jamie Belt, perfecting athletes, Paulina and everyone over there. They've done a tremendous job of my career, and I think for the most part when you get with camps like that and gyms like that. You as a fighter, you already know for the most part you have the heart, you have the determination. But I think when you get it around a circle like that, you become more mentally strong because when you get in the ring, you feel like I covered all bases in camp. I should be all right where I'm at. This should be the fun part. Instead of getting into a fight and you be like, well, did I do enough in camp? Did I cover everything I had to do? But when you get around great people. And in a phenomenal team, you feel like you're pretty much invincible and you're real confident going into the fight.
You know what? You talk about team. I have the privilege and the honor to be allowed to follow you back right after your victory in Fresno, California. And you can feel the love and appreciation when you walked in there and your fanfare was there, your supporters were there. And most of all, I'll say something very important beyond trainers and fans and supporters, your family was there because you treated them all with class. You gave them all their time of day. You treated them like family. And I remember you being in a picture, and I'm taking the shot. Somebody else was taking a still shot, and I'm doing some video, and I remember Bud saying, everybody in here, everybody in here, everybody in here. And they all listened to him. And you were right there, and he was as happy as you were. As he had a smile like he won the bout. He had a smile like he defended his title.
And that's what I love about Bud, because when we all seen it, we all know, we all been around plenty of fighters and gyms. When you have that guy in a certain gym, that guy expects all the attention on them. But with Bud, it's not like that. We all get our equal amount of attention. Bud wants to see the next guy succeed as much as he succeeds in the sport of boxing. And that's what makes Bud a great guy. Like, Bud could be a mean guy in the ring, of course, and out in the public. But when you actually get to know him and be around him, he's probably like, he's a comedian. He wants to joke around, he wants to play around. He wants to basically make you feel comfortable being around him. He doesn't want you to think, oh, that's Bud Crawford. And guys are too hesitant to watch what they say. Like, no, if you joke with him, he'll joke with you as well. We have an open door policy with our gym out in Omaha. So when we go to camp in Omaha and everything, anybody who wants to come to train, we don't mind, because we actually enjoy being around good, positive energy.
That's very well said, man. That night was your night, man. And I mean, it couldn't win any better. And that statement you just made, people say that on the airways. People say that just to say that. But for me, I was privileged to be there, witness it, and understand exactly what you're talking about, because I saw it for myself.
Good, thank you. Yeah, it was a great feeling. Even like, like sometimes in a fight, you always look at, you come at the fight, you like, even though I won, I was like, man, I wish I could do this. But like, they put me to the side, I was like, nah, man, you did good, champ. Hold your head up, because you, like, as a fighter, you always expect more out of you at the end of the day. Like, I think I'm probably my hardest critic on myself. But like with those guys, when I came to the back, like I said, they all put me to the side. They all embraced me. Everyone was happy. Like I said, my siblings were there. So it was a great feeling in the day, because you seen it. Like I said, I gave everybody time of day, because we was like the last ones out of the building, leaving the venue. So like I made sure. That's one thing about me, I always try to make sure to give everyone, at least a few moments of my time. It's to the point where, I have to get, like, my team has to, like, grab me and pull me away, because if you allow me, I will literally sit there and give everyone who wants to interview an interview. I will sign every little autograph, anything that wants to be signed. I'll even take time just to speak with people about giving my opinions, because that's just who I am. And like I said, I don't, like, I was, like, my mother always, brought me up as, just being humble and respectful. So I don't look at anyone, beneath me. If anything, my job, I just fight on TV. Okay, I'm on TV. But at the same time, I'm a human being just like you. And, if you show me love and respect, why, what's say I can't give you that same love and respect back? Like, I got, if people look even on my Facebook account, I have almost 5,000 friends on Facebook. But every morning, and people don't know this, every morning I would literally get up and check my notifications and go to the birthdays, and I would wish each and every one of those individuals a happy birthday, just to let them know that, that somebody does out there, does care and look at you as like you're special as well.
That means a lot, and I'm glad you have the opportunity to say that. Hey, Mike, we've talked about Mr. Herring here, man, and what we always had our opinion and how far he's going to go, what he could do. But we always said his potential, he can clean the division because of his southpaw stance and just his tenacity and what he's been through. Sometimes you got to go through disappointment to get to the expectation into your dreams. And I'm talking about being an Olympian, how it was cut short. But right now, where you're at, Mike, who would you like to see the champ share the ring with?
Well, obviously Frampton, just because that's been talked about now for so long. But if there was one specific fighter, and it's going to be the same as I said last week, I would love to see Santa Cruz.
And I love Leo too, and I would love to fight him too. Leo, you know why I respect Leo? Because Leo was showing me love when I was at a prospect level over there at PBC. Even before PBC was even brought up, like I said, at one point in time, Al Heyman, we were Golden Boy. I've been around Leo, but I would love to share the ring. See, like guys like Leo, I would love to share the ring just because of what they've done in the stature they have behind them. Like the guys, multiple world titles. Like, I don't care. Like, same thing. I don't care if I'm the B-side. I mean, it's a big fight. People's unification. Anybody's gonna tune in, but I would love to fight. You know, guys like Leo. You know, I think one fight that would be hard for me to do at the division, and it's because I love him so much, like a brother, is JoJo.
Yeah.
You know,
That's why I didn't say JoJo. That's why I didn't say. I know how that is.
Me and JoJo were Olympic teammates. Me and JoJo, like nobody knows the story. Other people know the story except for you know, my PR rep, Julie Goldsticker. But I never forget me, JoJo, and Terrell Goucher, Vegas. It was during the Pacquiao Bradley, the first fight. The whole Olympic team went to that event. And, you know, like me and JoJo been so tight. Like, we almost got like a few guys trying to test us out there on the strip. And, you know, JoJo being like, you know, like I said, the little brother, he was down to fight. And I was like, we didn't get in each other, but like, yeah, man, like me and JoJo, we just been so tight since then. And like, I you know, I reached out to him when he won his title because, like I said, I know what he's been through. I know his father. Personally, and you know, I'm happy for them. But I mean, it's like one of those things. Like, if it was a fight that people wanted to see, you know, I would look at it. But I think that, like, out of all the champions, that'd probably be the hardest one for me to do.
Yeah,
you know, that's the human part of you.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah, like some things are, to me, some things are worth more than just money in business. You know, and like I said, I had a great relationship. I've known them since she teenager, JoJo. You know what I mean? So like. And JoJo's always been a straight guy since day one with me. But like that like I wish him nothing but the most success in, you know, in his future. And I'm looking forward to seeing him getting back in the ring.
Yeah, JoJo's a good dude, man. He's funny. He had last year when who fought in Golden Boy's card over the summer where Ryan Garcia was supposed to fight.
Right.
Who's that guy that Shakur beat Joet.
Joey.
Yeah, I actually I ran into JoJo out there, and I was talking to him when Joel started talking, and he looks up at the screen, and he looks up there and he goes, "Man, he looks like a fucking walking mashed potato or something up there." And I was just like, "Damn!" But he was looking up at the screen, and then he turned around and just started talking to fans, and his mood changed.
Yeah.
But I was like, "Oh, JoJo's one of those dudes that when it comes to go, it's
and it's crazy because like I'm used to seeing JoJo the night. Like, I'm not saying he's always humble, but like when I see them get that mean streak in him, it's rare because, like I said, since I've known him, he's always been that guy. Like you said, you know, always smiling, good, easy going, good deal. But like when you poke him enough, he does bring that dog out, especially in that ring. But yeah, man, I'm happy for him. I'm actually just happy being the Olympic team captain, even though the men we didn't medal, but shout out to girls like Clarissa Shields and Esparza. But like, I'm actually happy to see how many world champions that class has produced.
I was actually going to talk to you about that. That's one of the things that you guys didn't medal, but you guys have pulled so many world champions from there now.
Yeah, or at least four times. Like, you know, guys like Terrell Goucher for Ronnie Laura for the title. Dominic Brazil, at least for the title for the heavyweight title twice. So, you know, if we didn't like
Hunter's still there.
Yeah, Hunter, he's climbing up there now too. He's finally getting the exposure that he deserves. So like, if we didn't get that title, we certainly are world contenders from that class. So, you know, I'm just happy for all those guys.
You know what happened to me right now, Mike? When I I'm the host of The Fighter's Voice. I got Mike co-host, but when I see great content going back and forth, I become a fan. I'm just like this. I'm listening to these stories, brother. I'm going, damn, this is a good show.
That's why I said, man, we just talk boxing, it just flow. For me, it just flows naturally. It doesn't feel like an interview. It feels like, you know, just friends talking about the sport they love and enjoy.
Thank you. That was very well said. Actually, I'll take that as a compliment. Luis Ramirez, Jose's brother, and we interviewed Jose on The Fighter's Voice. He said it was just like you guys were talking in the garage, friend on friend. And he almost told me who shot Kennedy, and I almost told him who dropped the glove at OJ's glove. I mean, we got in depth, we got in deep.
Right.
But I will say this, and I do want to ask you this, Jamal. Who do you have? I know who you have, but how do you see the fight taking place between Maurice Hooker and Regis Rigaru Pro Grace?
Oh man, okay, that's you know, because like, you know, Maurice is now he's a stablemate for the gym, and Regis is my boy. But I always give my honest opinion because like I said, I feel like it's a winnable fight for each individual. But they have to obviously play their cards right and bring it and be smart, because I feel like if Mo actually uses his natural attributes, like his reach, because Mo can hit also, yep. But he likes to get like I said, Mental Taylor at times. He likes to get in that dog fight and want to bang it out and give up his height and reach. And that's where Regis is real slick at on the inside, because he gets real defensive and real slick on like in close quarters, and he can shoot them back. But I feel like I said, Mo has to box. He has to box. But Regis has to, bring, it's hard to change a fighter from what they love and do. So Regis has to basically go out there and try to pick that fight and make it a fight instead of a boxing match. Because like I said, when Regis fought Josh, when they was getting on the inside, at times Regis was getting the best of them. But when Josh, took a step back and started using his range a little bit, he made the fight a little bit. He spaced out the gap on the cards between those two. So, like I said, Mo definitely has to use his natural attributes and be smart. And like I said, but Regis has to go in there and be Regis and just get on the end, stay in his chest, and use that his power as well.
I agree. Mo has that right hand, that one hitter quitter that'll make you respect, that'll hurt you, so he can go to the body and do what he needs to do.
Right. Yeah,
Regis is just a different animal.
Yeah, he has to set it up. Like, there's don't rush it. Don't rush the shot. Yeah. Set it up. Be patient. It's gonna be there.
Like he did against Salcedo.
Yeah, even like when he fought Jose, when he decided to take a step back from Jose and actually use his reach and range. He got a few good shots on Jose as well, but it's every time he get in a dogfight, and I personally, I've been in there with Jose. I sparred him, Olympic training camps and everything. I've been in there. I know how like Jose when he gets. Jose is so hard to get off you. Like when he gets going, he gets going. So when he's in your chest, it's real hard for you to get that. Because like me, I'm the boxer. So when I was sparring Jose, I always will box with him. But once he got on the inside, oh man, that's basically a fight for your life.
I'm going to say two things real quick. Regis is a little different. He's just a little different beast. His confidence is through the roof. Right. We're talking about a man who wrestles with sharks and alligators and does all that stuff and puts it on YouTube, and he smiles and thinks it's cool that a shark rubbed up against him. I mean, he thinks that's cool. Jose, when Jose's in the ring, he's like listening to freaking Tejano music, cumbias, and mariachis at the same time. He's dancing and moving to a different rhythm, man. He sets traps. He baits you, that pressure. He's a different type of fighter. I mean, there's lots of world-class fighters, but, I've seen a different side from Jose. And I'll get off that subject. When we have him on the show, I'll talk more about him. Maurice Hooker and Regis, honestly, when that fight was announced, I got goosebumps because styles make fights. I've already, in my mind, I was thinking, okay, these guys are fighting twice because the first fight is going to live up to all the expectation, all the hype.
They're going to fight. Yeah. They're going to fight. When I mean fight. It's going to be a war at times in that fight. Yeah. I already know it. Trust me, I already know it. But when you speak about Jose, it brings me back to what you said about the conversation earlier about how people look at me and look at the night. Like Jose is the real nice, humble guy. I'd probably count on my one hand. I'm trying to see Jose get ugly out there when he has to speak back or bark, bark back. But for the most part, Jose is, when I see him, same guy. We embrace each other with a hug. We ask how everybody's doing, how our families are doing, and we just, we actually spend more time speaking on, life and family than we do about boxing. We see, we look at the broader, things in life, and like Jose has always been, a down to earth guy.
No, very well said. And I do have the same experience with meeting Jose and talking to him. And you're absolutely right. His dad, his mom, their beautiful child, his fiance, and his brother Luis. I mean, he's down to earth, man. I mean, that is
Luis is my guy. That's my guy too, man. Shout out to Luis, man. He's a good guy. He's been a straight shooter since day one.
Hey, but I will say this. If you were to talk to Luis on the phone and him not say it's Luis, you think you're talking to Jose.
Yeah.
I mean, that voice said everything, man. Hey, man, I want to ask you this before you leave us right now. What do you got to say to all the viewers, all the fans? What's your message on how to pick yourself up, stay focused, and also show respect in respecting exactly what's going on? I'm talking about the coronavirus. Yes, life does go on, but we do respect its cause. And everybody that's been touched by it, both mentally, physically, and even spiritually, because it brought a lot of brothers and sisters to God. I'm gonna keep it right, man. I'm gonna keep it real. What's your message to the world?
Like I said, you know, it's not over. It's not over. You know, I just tell people just keep their heads up for the most part. Like I said earlier, use this time to do the things that you wanted to do with your loved ones close to you. Even if they're not in the same room as you, take that time to reach out to people that you may not have gotten to speak to, you know, in so long, because like I said, the virus is serious. And like one thing I was always taught is never to hold grudges. And like I said, you could be losing, and God forbid, you know, anybody listening, I hope it doesn't happen to their family, anything like that. But God forbid if you lose a loved one to this virus, but you didn't, you know, you had a bone to pick with them for years, and you held this grudge, and now they're gone. So that's why I always tell people, don't ever hold grudges, because you never know what can happen tomorrow. I've been through it where I've seen people that I know here today and gone tomorrow, and we didn't get to tell them how we really felt about them and how much we loved them. So, but on the other side, like I said, just enjoy your life. You know, it's because you we're quarantined inside, doesn't mean you still can't make the most of your life either. And like I said, it's brought a lot of people together spiritually. I mean, I always been spiritual, like it's because that's how I was raised. But I'm actually making the most of it. Like my daughters are happy that I'm here, you know, because I'm not away in camp. I'm not traveling doing business. I'm home. Dad is home, you know. So like I'm having a blast with, you know, just with my kids around the house. You know, my wife is happy. My mother's sitting right in front of me, and I've seen my mother just about every other day, you know. But I always been I've always been a mama's boy, you know, growing up. So I'm just glad, like I said, I'm enjoying it. But I just tell everybody just to keep their heads up, and you know, we'll all get this together, because like I said, the world stopped. So it's not like just like one state is under, you know, under house arrest. No, the whole world is going through it. So like I said, we just, you know, this is the time for people to come together as one, you know what I'm saying, and just fight the good fight as us Marines.
There you go. Hey, KP, hold up a hand. How much time we got? Hold up a hand, KP. How much time we got left, KP? Okay, cool. Hey, speaking of your kids being around, you better hide that Apple Card.
Oh, man.
You better hide that Apple Card. Or give me some access, brother. Hey, can I order some Jordans?
Man, look, true story also, another story. My daughter actually, she's like, you know, kids today all of them on a device. Yes. Whether it's the laptop or the iPad. My daughter asks her mother one day, Mom, what's the street address again? Her mom's like, why? You know, my wife was like, why? And she's like, oh no, I just need the street address. So she's not thinking of it. She's like, we live in the. Yeah. Then she comes down. Oh, what's your credit card number again? It's like, hold on, what are you doing? My daughter was trying to order a $300 bouncy house just for herself. Like, I don't know what she's gonna do with bouncy house, but like, she was trying to order a bouncy house. But then she's like, she wants to basically build a zoo, because every time she wants to, like, you know, let's go get this animal. I need a parrot. I'm like, I can't. I think, like I said, my sons are easy to deal with than my daughters. You know what I mean? But in my opinion, but like I said, when you have girls, they all have a special place in your heart. But that one, when she gets like she's a little slick one, because I had to take every device and turn off the Apple Pay off it, because she knows passwords, she knows how to use facial recognition, she knows how to use thumb. I'm like, no, you can't leave any device around her. She might get you. Like my wife said. Well, no, my mom said next year we're gonna get her to do our taxes next year, because she might find a loophole in there to get some
money back.
Okay, guys, this is the any part of the show. This is called Throw the Jab. Okay. Who do you want to throw the jab at? I'm talking about throwing jabs, okay? It's okay to have fun. Mike, I'm going to start with you. In 60 seconds, who are you going to throw the jab at? Because I know who I'm throwing the jab at. I mean, you got your pretenders. You got your guys like, dude, really? You doing this right now? Or you got your guys calling you out like Jamel. And you're saying, really? You going to call me out, bro? You haven't even won 10 fights yet. Who are you going to throw the jab at, Mike?
You know, it's correct. I haven't been called out in a while. I think the last one, which you know about, the last one that called me out was Andy. Andy Vance is probably the last one I know that was calling me out. But I understand where Andy comes from. Andy's always been like that. Andy's been a hungry guy, so I don't take offense to it. But I think that's the only. That was like about a year ago before the Ito fight. But since then, I really I don't have to. I guess because I don't really pay people no mind. You know, I look at the champions. I'd rather throw the jabs at the champions. But other than that, guys who basically not world champions, I can't give out any names.
There you go, Mike. Who you throwing your jab at?
Whoever, honestly, man. I don't care.
I'm with Mike. If I got to the jabs, throw that Leo, man. We got to bring. Let's reel Leo Santa Cruz in, man. Yeah. That's a good fight for the sport.
Yeah. See, me, it's just I would just love to see Leo get another fight like how he had with Mares and the guys that he came up with. Just because he hasn't had.
This is the problem I have with Leo comes because those are the fights that in my point will make him to be big where he's at, and it's like lately. It's like I don't see that hunger that he want. Like when he was fighting, even with the fights with Frampton and you know, and the Abner fights, and I'm like now it's like Leo. Like I don't know if Leo's being the businessman Leo or Leo just doesn't. I mean, because I give him a bit of a doubt. He has a lot going on with his family. You know, like I said, I pray his father's situation. We all know that, but. Like I said, I want to see that Leo get back in there because I wanted to see the Gary Russell fight. I wanted to see that fight as a fan. So,
I would love that fight.
That's why I don't know if Leo has that hunger in him at the moment.
I just hope he doesn't go in there with Gervonta. I don't want to see him with Gervonta.
I don't like. Last thing I heard they're trying to bring it back to 130, and we know, you know, Tank after the last situation with the weight. I don't think that's realistic either. So we'll see.
I would rather see him against Gary as opposed.
I'm available. Just give me some time after the practice situation. I'm open to anything.
That'd be a good fight. That's just me, just because Leo right now, honestly, would be the main name at 130 just because he wants to accomplish. So, you know, as they've always said, that target's on his back.
Honestly, I said sending up a truck. I don't see, like, personally, I don't know, like, bro. I pay attention. I'm a fan of boxing, so I read everything. I pay attention to everything from like the interviews and everything, and it seems like, you know, he wants to move up in weight eventually also. So I don't think he'll be around too much long after the Valdez fight. Yeah. You know, so like I said, Leo just moving the weight. I have no issue making the weight, so I feel like that fight.
There only on the Fighter's Voice where we throw jabs. I knew it was in him. Mike, and we pulled it out of him. Only on the Fighter's Voice. We got to get my man to speak freely, which means he's comfortable. He appreciates the show. He loves the show. And when we open back up in Fresno, California, my man is going to be in studio. If I got to go to training camp, if I got to put headgear on and take some punishment, I'm getting him in studio.
I'm coming. Yeah, I'm coming. I owe you that one. I keep my word. I'm coming to Fresno. For Fresno, like I said, I love you guys out there, man. Thank you for just showing the New Yorker of all people, the New Yorker, you know, loving the sport in Fresno, California, of all places. But you know, I love it.
Hey, you heard it, man. Hey, man, I just want to thank you. I appreciate you taking your time. I don't even want to call this a show. I'm just having a good time with you, my man.
Everything was open. Everything was open. We're just talking, having a good time.
Hey, but you know what? Okay, well, then I'm going to say, since this is open, in 2 weeks, I want to have you back on.
Sure.
I want to have you back on. I'll let you go through your roll call list. I got to have Mo on, too. Even if he's just a soundbite. I mean, the guy is a nice guy. I met him, and I will say this. When I met him, he looked like a middleweight. I mean, the guy is huge. He's a big boy.
Shout out to Perfecting Athletes. That's where they come in at.
No, hey, exactly. Hey, Mike, in 30 seconds, Matt, because we're running out of time, what do you have for us?
Hey, we got to keep fighting this thing, and let's keep pushing. It look like we're doing a good job here in the state. Honestly, shout out to Governor Newsom, man. He's done a great job with everything that he's been doing here.
I've heard.
And to JAMEL, honestly, man, it's a pleasure to talk to you. I've followed you since the Olympics. I know everything, you know, your story from, you know, way back when to now. You're one of the most people I've always looked up to and respected. And it's an honor to speak with you, man.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate that. 2 weeks. 2 weeks coming back.
Hey, my man, you're coming back. But I got to ask you this. What's the hottest podcast right now?
What? The hottest podcast? It's obviously you guys, my people out there in Fresno. So, like I said, the JAMEL Herring Show will be taking over in 2 weeks. So we might have to change that name. Might have to change the name to the JAMEL Herring Show. But like I said, man, now you guys have always been great to me. I still laugh at the video we did out in Vegas during the Wilder Fury weigh-in. But yeah, much love to you guys. And like I said, I'll be back in 2 weeks for sure. hopefully I could bring more company with me.
Absolutely. Sounds good. Let's look forward to it. Hey, Rich Ortiz, you're host of The Fighter's Voice, the only voice that matters. We're simply knocking out the competition. I want to thank KP, the man behind the curtain, Big Mike, the Wolf Ruther, and ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, the WBO lightweight champion of the world, and soon to hold the rest of the straps, the one, the only, Mr. Simplify.
And shout out to the Fighter's Voice.
Fighter's
Voice, man, #1 in the game. Always give the fighters the love and respect, no matter where they're from. I'm living proof. Living proof over here, fellas.
Hey, it's a wrap, and as always, thumbs up for Rich.
Okay, fight fans, it's not goodbye, but until next week. Remember, it's always voiceography at its finest. So on behalf of Richard Ortiz, Cole ESCOVEDO, the special guests, and all the crew right here at the Kick-Ass Podcast, saying hasta luego, babies. And always, thanks for listening.